Hi all and welcome. This is Shiloh Taylor bringing you political action information for the people. It's January 11th of 2024 and this is our first call for the year. We'll be hosting a call every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Our calls are going to focus on legislative and political actions that affect we the people and focus on solutions that's best to serve us as voters. Call rules. We're a nonpartisan group, so right now we're not here to promote candidates. We are looking to unseat candidates that are causing issues for we the people, not listening to we the people. Second, if you're a staunch party supporter, this might not be for you. We don't want any party rhetoric. Just don't waste anyone's time with party rhetoric. We've all heard it. Fence sitters welcome. We're welcome for free and open debate here on different issues. Any criticisms, just have a solution that follows it, is all that I ask on that. Lots of criticisms. Criticisms just make things better as long as they're coming from the right place. So just have a solution for things that just to make it better. And we're not here to change minds, we're just here to change the system. So this is not about, how much we can fight with the other team. This is about how we can fix the system and make it more fair for all of us. And let's move into the hot and new political or voting issues that are going on here in 2024 right off the bat. We have the Section 702, of course, which is still, it's kind of been put on ice for right now. And so the few things that are coming out of the gate right in 2024 there are some appearing to be valid claims of hacking of the 2020 election, which there were also some valid claims of this in 2016. And so there is, this is an issue that we're hoping to address is, there are issues with anything can be hacked. And so we need to look into a system in the future. To me, I think blockchain is a good idea to introduce into, a national. These things are not necessarily can't be all done at the state level. We need to do this at the national level. So addressing hacking of voter results, and then of course every state is different. All 50 states have a different system, so it's hard to pin down which states. There are some states that are worse than others. Obviously, Georgia. I want to discuss Georgia here in a minute. But claims of hacking in the 2020 election, judges that are appointed by special interest, any of you who are following any of the Trump stuff, Secretary of States, and anyone who follows me knows I'm not a Trump fan, but we got to play by the rules because the other team or the other people against you they'll do that next time. So we just don't need to be doing these things like these appointees are doing things that are contrary to the law, like beat him fair and square. And he can be beaten by just voting. So let's stop trying to do all these, things to make it. So it's just ridiculous what's going on with all of this. These judges that you can see clearly are appointed by special interests now that there's so many of them that are showing their horns. Georgia, I want to talk about Georgia and the voter purge laws that are going on in Georgia. This is something that needs to be addressed, obviously, with the political action, is the ways that they cheat voters out of voting. And Georgia's especially bad. The Democrats, it's a state that the Democrats barely won, so it's a big, battleground state. But they've put in laws that allow the other party, basically, and special interests to just purge voters for any reason at all. And so these special interests go in there and what they've done to there's a black veteran that's, been around since, the times of slavery and was a high-ranking, military member at one point, and they pulled his voter, said he was committing voter fraud, and they just they accuse all of these people that are not committing voter fraud of voter fraud, and so any reason at all they can just say, hey, DJ Chris, we think that you are not a citizen, and so we want you to purge your voter registration, and so they will. And so they've created a monster over there that they just, talking about the voter purge piece of the way that the parties cheat is they are just anyone can go in there and accuse you of not being a citizen or not, voting or voter fraud or whatever it is. And they're getting people, number one, they're getting people in real trouble with these things. And then number two, it's a violation of their rights. They're not able to vote for reasons, which is, just mean reasons, just to purge voters of the other party so that your party will win. And so these are the kind of things that need to be dealt with on a federal level. These are, they're state laws. Each one is different, but we need sort of a standard at the federal level, which would deal with these hacking and just sort of one standard way we're going to vote using blockchain and other unhackable ways to do this, and also address the gerrymander issue with the way that they draw the lines. That is they can really just cheat with the way that they draw the lines. They can swing the vote just by simply changing the lines of the districts. And so these are federal issues. There are lots of different state-run initiatives and different nonprofits and stuff they're useful, but some of these things cannot be reached at the state level. These are federal issues that we need to demand change, along with, getting to the military-industrial complex. Of course, these are voter issues that are real issues that are, it's not all. It can't just be, Trump lost. And I believe he lost, but there are real issues that are coming up here, real valid issues of changed votes, etc., from 2016 and 2020. So even bigger of the cheating is the party rigged primaries, basically, that these are all run at the state level, and they're all different from every different state. And coming up on an election year, everyone knows that now is the time for all the caucus and the primary things that are going on. So now that it's the beginning here, normally the Iowa caucus was the first one that was counted by the parties. Now that's changed. Right now, most of the caucus and the primary systems, most states hold primaries 6 to 9 months before the general election. So the caucuses are run a little bit differently. If anybody's been involved in politics at the state level, they're loud, they're messy, everyone's in the same room. It's really hard. The Iowa caucus has a write-in. That's why they did Iowa first. This stems back to Jimmy Carter. And when it allows people who are, because it's write-in, people who are not, big contenders, it allows people to come in and get in between Joe Biden. And so that changed when the 1968 Democratic National Convention. And so they got very angry that in Chicago, party leaders ignored popular support for an anti-war candidate, Eugene McCarthy, and instead they nominated Hubert Humphrey, who hadn't won a single primary. So people got very angry about this, and they demanded change. So we needed to demand change again. The states were instructed to adopt reforms that opened the nominating process to more rank-and-file Democrats, as well as women, minorities, and young people. So that was originally what this was set out to do, was to sort of, make it a little more fair. And so starting with Jimmy Carter, that was how he springboarded as a little-known contender. And so the Iowa caucuses were born in 1972. So right now, they're coming up on the 15th on Monday at 7 p.m. And so we can see what's going on with that. Really, the Republicans are the only ones that are running a real caucus. The Democrats have pulled a fast one. So on Monday, January 15th, again at 7 p.m. local time, they'll be having their caucus. We can kind of see what's going to happen with the Republican Party. Trump is on the ballot for the caucuses right now. Biden chose not to go on the caucus ballots for that, or New Hampshire, he's not on the ballot. They have decided that the rules changed, and they are going to put South Carolina as the first primary, which is in, it's February 3rd. It doesn't look like they're going to announce anything until March 5th. And so they're basically stealing the primary for Biden. I mean, there's not really a primary. Anyone who's got a primary, the caucus will see what happens with the Republicans, who the Republicans are going to nominate, how that's going to go. But really, the Democrats have set this up so that the Iowa caucus is really not going to do anything for any Democrats. The New Hampshire, he's not even on the ballot. He's done that on purpose because, again, they're waiting for South Carolina, which basically negates anyone else who goes before them. So they're looking to basically steal the primary, which we've been aware. If anyone follows any of this, we see that they're ready to steal the primary. They've also had Florida Democrats have removed all other candidates. Nobody can get on the ballot. So the next thing for them is to use ballot access as a weapon. And so that's what they're doing with RFK and some of these other. The ballot access is going to be the real issue here that's going on with them. But just consider that the primary is not, we all know it's Biden, which I think, again, is going to, Newsom's going to replace Biden later on. They're going to try to throw him under the bus, as they are now already. Watch as the bus is coming towards him now. But essentially, they're not giving anybody a primary who's with the Democrats. So point being in this, there is no primary going on. There is no, Biden is the nomination. We know that's what's going on. And so essentially, this brings us here today again to, discuss what is the issue that we can do right now. How can you help? What can we do? Without any, joining anything, doing anything, just go right now. And again, reiterate for those of you who are new on the call or those that, haven't done this yet, right now is the time to register in your state. If you live in a red state, register as a Republican. If you live in a blue state, register as a Democrat. And those who are holding the primaries, of course, try to primary them. But of course, the caucus and all of these other things, it's a little more complicated than we can just primary everyone in every single state. Really, it's, the general is going to be the one. That is the obvious election. But right now is when the parties start working their way into taking the election whichever way they want to. So now is the time that you need to register or change your registration, because essentially it doesn't matter anyway. If you're a Democrat in a blue state, they've stolen your primary. So go ahead and, what does it matter if you vote in the Republicans? So vote in the primaries and do not vote for any incumbents, because we are looking to unseat people at this point, especially people who do not deserve to move forward, people who've been obstructionists, those who give into the military-industrial complex, those who, continually throw balls to the executive office for weaponization of the executive office to continue that, new FBI offices, things like that. Those people have to go because they're not changing, they're not listening to the people, they're purposely ignoring us. And so this is the way to get to them, obviously, is to unseat them using a three-prong approach, which is the Remote Workers Association, which please go and subscribe at this point to get logged on for when our beta program comes out, remoteworkersassociation.org. Please register and subscribe for that now. And when that comes out, please register as a member. And at that time, but for right now, go ahead and register in your state, red and red, blue and blue, and just focus on that for now. Once the platform gets up, then that's when we're going to work on matching those with in low population states with the residency of those people with people who are remote workers, who have the ability to, who live in different states, college students, RV life, van life, people who are already remote workers, truck drivers, different things where they're already not necessarily in one state. That will be a matching and have many different groups that we're going to, especially for TIs, a lot of people that are here are for TI issues. This is really what we're focusing on is getting these groups heard, having the ability for communities to meet, have town halls without being interrupted as best we can in a nonprofit setting, which works a little better because, we're all members of a group that's asking for information. So looking to focus on the groups and town halls and being able to vote in there. I do also want to protect people's data. This is not something where we're going to be doing what the big tech guys did and sold everyone's, soul out with their data. I would like to look into some ideas that Cory Doctorow had about the data eventually going away. And so like letting you download these things and then it's just not there. So if the police want to get the data, it's not there, it doesn't exist. So they have to go get it from your individual records. But, allowing to record and do different things so that you can keep your own meetings for your own, having a transcript of your own meetings for legal purposes if you are an organization that, needs to have a legal meeting, etc. Also running some Chamber of Commerce type of things for business members that this is, business members here that we want to buy from each other if we can. There's no reason to not use what TIs are already providing and allowing us to get some employment back with those of us that are, not necessarily employed like we used to be. And, most people have a side gig anyway. And so that's sort of what this is looking at because we need to have a common business function basically to be a Chamber of Commerce type of nonprofit membership. And so this is, focusing on remote workers, which then, of course, have the ability to work remotely and work and vote and have their voter registration in different states that are strategic to who we need to unseat. And so that's how the three-prong approach works, is with the membership platform, which is a social media app and also online platform that brings communities together, and then also uses the Political Action Committee, which we use to unseat specific different people that specifically spent for campaign dollars, either to donate to or to unseat, which also the unseating piece of it is more important. Notice that there's a lot of candidates that will be talking about how they don't take political action fund money. Maybe they don't, but they also have no problem with them spending $100 million to unseat their opponent. So, the big piece of the pacts are that they just spend a lot of money to unseat you. And so it doesn't matter if you didn't take money from them. They spent $100 million in your name against the other person. So again, the Political Action Committee goes along with the membership platform and organization, which we are official now. It's an official, we'll see, set off for the 501c6. But right at this point, we are officially a company and open and ready for membership donations. And so moving forward on that, right now we are in the process of just moving the platform over and getting it designed for this specific organization and our needs. And so it's in the process of just doing those things. We just need a little bit longer here. We are asking for donations. Early founding members, obviously, everything takes money. If anybody doesn't have the money, don't donate if you do have it. I'm in the process of putting funnels in there, so there'll be like just a $5 monthly charge if you wanted to spread the yearly membership fee over a month. So give me a little bit to do that, but mostly I'm moving forward on it. We're ready to go. It's official. So if you can go to remoteworkersassociation.org if you have the money for a founding membership at this moment. If not, just subscribe. The founding members will receive a lifetime of benefits when we get this moving forward. And then your participation is just as important, is a donation. So thank you for those of you who are just listening and who are going to just do the vote red, vote blue. That is a financial donation. They're both are equally important. So I appreciate those who are just listening and who are just going to go and vote in the primaries and do that. That is just as important. But again, everything takes money to move forward on this. Hoping to get the platform out as quickly as possible. So again, founding members on the business and personal memberships will receive lifetime of benefits. And the benefits are coming out. I'm writing them right now, so I will have them in writing as we go forward. Maybe in 2 weeks I'll have a little bit more on the hard benefits that are going to come with those memberships that are paid versus those that are just participating memberships for free. For freedom. Free for freedom. So I just wanted to go again forward, about those who maybe here don't understand the plan with the political action that we, the people, have together if we band together, not based on our political, what you normally affiliate with. Everybody leans a certain way. Even if you're in the middle, you lean a certain way. But look, we need to band together that we're all in the same boat here. A lot of us are unemployed. Unfortunately, a lot of us are unemployed, but self-employed in some way, shape, or form. And so what unions do for, only 10% of the population, but what they used to do was protect the worker, but there's no workers' protection. And then, the things that are imperfect about unions, keeping the bad people and that's not really the way that this isn't about that, because most of the issues that affect you are done locally. This is to affect the system and make it more fair so that our voices are heard. I mean, they're ignoring us. If anybody has not noticed, it's gotten worse with the conflicts in Ukraine and Israel. And so they just are openly ignoring us. The staff members, people that used to do the job that I used to do are coming out and saying they're not even listening. They used to listen to that. If there was a lot of calls in, we would talk about it and they would listen. That would get the attention of the congressperson. And so it's just with Citizens United, it's changed the game. And so we need to have the same access to the same plays that they do. And so essentially this will even out the playing field, but we, again, need to band together without this idea that we're different, that, that we're not different. We all want to change the system so that this is fair, so we have a voice, so that us together, we the people, our voice matters, that our vote matters, that it's not, first of all, that it's not hacked and cheated at the lowest level. And then even if it's not hacked and cheated, that it's an even playing field. And the Electoral College is not an even playing field the way that it currently is. So, reform looks like nothing that will be too harsh on anyone other than popular vote wins and unhackable system, spread out the Senate so that it's a little more fair based on population. There's a lot more details to this. Obviously, this is just a big overview, but really we just need to even this out and also get rid of. We need the ability to get rid of the players who are not helping us. And again, my example is always Mitch McConnell, because he is an obstructionist and he's barely functioning. And so I think that it's agreed upon with most people familiar with getting at the military-industrial complex. He is an important player to get rid of if we want to get at the military-industrial complex. He is all about business when it comes to that. And if you believe at this point he's even functioning at all, they are behind him as a very strong, important puppet. So again, that's why if we band together, we can come to some sort of agreement on which players we are going to unseat, basically. And it's those who are really giving the military-industrial complex a big financial boost at every opportunity that they can. So I think that is being the first initial industrial complex. And then, of course, moving on to the health industrial complex, they've all taken over. And unfortunately, they're not elected, and so they're hard to get at. But us together, banding together, and focusing on the things that we have in common, which are our voice matters. And if we do this together and we unite together, again, not everybody's the same. That's why we're looking to unite the communities. Find your tribe, find your community, find the people that you mesh best with. And then we, as little tribes, band together and get the action that we need. I'm not expecting everybody to like everybody or everybody to even want to deal with the same, to deal with everybody or different things. It's good to hear other people, but not everybody is in your tribe. You don't jive with everyone. So that's what we're looking to do is not change people's minds. Let them find their people. They have their people. We have our people. That how it works. So again, this is looking to unite communities, not to change anyone's mind. We don't need anyone to be different. But your voice needs to be heard in more of a parliamentary type of way, in the sense that there is not just two parties that are fighting for or against each other, in a way that there is a solutions-based, that we go, okay, these are, there's 4 different interests here that this affects, and these 4 different interests, 4 different parties, however it is, that we focus on a solution that is going to best benefit most people that this is going to affect. Because not every issue affects every single, tribe or little community of people. And so the people that it affects need to have a voice in the matter, is really what it comes down to. And so as we can see right now in the way that the budget is being run, first of all, we cannot afford the military actions that we're taking right now and that we are funding around the world. We cannot afford this as targeted individuals to be their guinea pigs anymore. We cannot afford this when this, as taxpayers, when this does come down, when they pay damages to us. This is going to be a lot of damages, because we will win this. We will get damages. We will be compensated for unlawful experiments, and basically, in short, and treasonous acts against us. We can't afford this. We also don't need to be spending taxpayer dollars on doing this. This is not, if we would just lay off of the imperialist attitude with having military actions around the world at all places, like if you look where our bases are, we're instigating a lot of these things in the name of profit for these military contractors that they just get more and more powerful every year, and especially with Citizens United. There is a new, I don't know if he's not necessarily new, but I came across him, this David Serrata, who is talking about the different things that are going on with these PACs, that the way that they're able to get in, and Boeing and the things with the airplane where they're falling apart and they're getting themselves, out of deregulating themselves, and then look what they're just falling apart in the air. And so there's a lot of issues that go along with this military-industrial complex. They just rake in the profit, and they have no safety for those of us, just for them running the regular planes that we're on, not even including the military stuff. So again, they need to be taken down from their power. And so the way to do this, of course, is to get representatives that will do this, that are going to listen to we the people. And we need our power back as well, because the reason why they don't listen to us is because we don't have any power. We have nothing that is together. Our power is together. All of us do a little bit, and then we are strong and powerful by doing a little. And so we need to do that again. We need to be strong, where it's, again, this is a replacement for the unions, in the sense that this is not about employees. This is about remote workers, that these things affect us. First of all, it's a huge effect if you just work in Arizona versus California, as far as taxes, that, etc., those things that matter. Safety online, things that happen if you are a remote worker, where you get hacked because your company gets hacked, and so then your personal information is been hacked because your company got hacked. There's a lot of different things that affect remote workers, working for someone, and also safety as far as people stalking. And I mean, we all know what stalking is, but different, people, not the police stalking us like it has been, but you know what I'm talking about, like psycho killer stalkers, because they just decide they don't like this person and they go kill this. Somebody goes postal at somebody's personal work site at home. And so there's a lot of issues that are going to come up with this that are going to need the lobbying as well, not just to get to the military-industrial complex, but also to address these issues for everybody does a job, including people who stay home and are caregivers. Just because they don't get paid doesn't mean that they're not a remote worker, and that that labor doesn't need to be acknowledged in a way and deserve some sort of lobbying and voice behind it. It doesn't matter that they don't get paid. They're caregiving either for adults or for children. The Gen X were doing both. So there's just a lot of issues that need to be addressed that we have in common that aren't necessarily just the way that traditional work is looked at, and especially side gig sort of things, and things that you do that are labor that's not acknowledged because it's not paid, unpaid labor. So again, that's what we're looking to unite pretty much everyone together to get at these things that we can't afford as taxpayers anymore. And the military-industrial complex is just number one. If anyone else has any additional on here, I'm about ready to open this to open mic. If anybody has any additional comments on how to move forward, if they are interested in specific benefits that are coming out with the Remote Workers Association platform, ideas that you're interested in, please let me know. And I'm going to open up to everyone. And everyone is welcome to it was like. Those that are on the phone, hit *6 to unmute if you want to speak. And those that are online, feel free to unmute yourself.
I have a question, Shiloh. Can you hear me? Okay.
Sure.
Just a quick question. I'm in Canada. I really want to help. Could I join? Can I give money, or do I have to be American citizen?
The Political Action Committee is very strict about that, but the membership is open to that, and it also doesn't have. If you give to the 501c6 piece of it, it doesn't have the citizenship issues, and it also doesn't have limits to where you can only give like $6,000 per. The Political Action Committee has to be run very tight, but the answer is go ahead and if you feel free, if you can, donate, remoteworkersassociation.org. If you are not a United States citizen that can vote, unfortunately, we can't take your money in the political action side when that does get going. I am looking to globally add this Remote Workers Association social media piece of this because I do think other countries need to also band together. There's a lot of farmers from the Netherlands right now that need to, there's a lot of other countries that need to, their communities need to be able to politically gather. And so we're looking to make this an international thing, but right at the moment, because this is specific to the United States, again, political action, the answer is no. Membership, the answer is yes. And thank you. I appreciate you so much.
And I just want to joke about I only have $6,000 to donate. I don't have any. I have 2 pennies to rub together. So I want to joke.
Oh,
okay.
I know, and it's when you hear these things and you are just like a regular person, you're like, I gave Bernie $5. You know, like that's fine. The $5, that's where the grassroots come from. It's a lot of us are going to give a little bit, but some of these people that buy these elections, they max out, and then they have to give their $6,000 to another political action fund, because they've maxed out to their candidates. So this game of political fundraising is there are donors, and in fact, I'm pulling the reports on all of those who've maxed out because I'm going to them right now to discuss that. So, but yeah, it's just a whole different ballgame with this. But yes, from the TIs and people that are a part of this community, I'm expecting, your donations to be $5. I'm not expecting huge donations, but I am going to big political donate people who do this and asking them for large donations. So again, if you are someone who does have that ability, who does invest in political action committees, please write to me, give me a call, and we can discuss a founding membership in that case. Does anyone live in Kentucky by chance that's on here tonight? Okay. I was hoping. I know Louisiana, for whatever reason, there's a lot of targeted individuals I've noticed, but Kentucky, I don't know. And they're like on my top list of, they've got a lot of important players in Kentucky right now, good and bad. Of course, I always, want to give a pat on the back to Thomas Massey, who's of Kentucky, a House member over there, and then Mitch McConnell is like the one that we need to get rid of. He's not up for election this year, but if he is functioning 2 years from now, he's got to go. I mean, who knows if he's going to make it? I mean, Feinstein didn't make it, so I actually don't think he's going to. I know a lot of people put him in the, he's targeted, it's mind control. No, he's old, and so I know there are some symptoms and things that he's done that point to different weapons, but I think he's just old. But again, that's up for debate if anyone wants to tell me contrary.
Shiloh. Hey, Shiloh.
I'm here. Yes.
Can you hear me, girl?
I can.
Sorry about the voice. Been sick for a while. Hey, listen, it's Dawn from Denver. I just got on, so I'm not hearing what you were talking about. But if you send me your address or where to send this some money to, I can slide you some donations. Okay, I can slide you a little bit, and I'd be more than happy to. So if you could just get me the address or how I'm supposed to donate, I'd love to.
Sure, it's remoteworkersassociation.org is the website. And
okay,
if you're on the phone here, it's just spelled out remote, REMOTE, workers, WORKERS, and then association, ASSOCIATION.org.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so that's about it. Absolutely. I'm going to go on mute now so that you can talk with others, okay?
Thank you. And if anyone has anything to add or any questions, feel free to speak up. And for anybody new that jumped on, really the whole point of this, most of the call was sort of just discussing the way that the parties run the caucus and the primary system. So depending on whatever state you're in, depends on how they're going to run your show over there. But just expect the next couple months are going to be fun with all of the primaries and caucuses that are coming up here. So if anybody has any questions about that or wants to add something about the slow fall into totalitarianism that we are with the uniparty.
Hey, Shiloh, it's Dawn again. How many folks do you have from Colorado on here? Anybody from Colorado? Nobody?
I don't see the usual Colorado people on tonight.
Okay. I'd really like to know how many TIs we have in this state.
I think Colorado has a lot as well, just because of the number one, there's certain organizations that have evidence that a lot of the shows run out of Colorado, out of the Schreiber Air Force Base. I also, for me, there's not just the Air Force Base. There's Cheyenne Mountain that has all the military communications. There's the Air Force Academy, and then along with Schreiber, and then the base in Aurora as well. So I think Colorado's another one of those that strangely, well, not strangely, but has a ton of TIs. That's just my observation.
You know what? I'm starting to think the United States has more than what we know.
They just put out that report that the Senate committee for the Homeland Security Committee saying that there was 400,000 that are in categories 3 and 4, and if that's incorrect, somebody please correct me, but I believe that's the information. 400,000, and then 2 million, I think they said was the total list. And so I don't know. I don't know what number is accurate. It's just that I just wonder if they don't have more hidden in there in some of these other programs that, you know, in our similarities, TIs, there's differences, but most of them are similar. But obviously we all have different, everything's not the same. We're in different programs or different behavior modifications or something. And so, again, I just wonder if the list is not going to be bigger somehow. It just seems like it's bigger, or there's a bigger list that ties into the fusion centers that's run with the cops, and I don't know. I just feel like it's bigger than they're putting out. Bigger than 400,000 is my personal opinion, but that's feeling. I don't have any facts behind that yet. Has anyone been watching any of the debates that have been going on? I know they've had some different little debates. I've been staying away. So if anyone has anything to add about those. And I wanted to talk a little bit, I guess, about the platform and this town hall feature that I'm excited about, which hopefully will solve some of these issues of this particular program and other programs that are like them, to be allowed to not kick so many people off, to just have some other different options, like a voting option and a transcript option, to be able to sort of combine Zoom and this program, the better pieces of this, with the voting, also allowing those to vote for whatever it is that you're talking about with your organizations, or, you know, even if it's just a group, and allowing those things to be recorded and, you know, voted on, so you know how many people voted yes, how many people voted no, etc. And so hoping to play off of the good things that social media have, and try as best we can to avoid some of this things that they do with algorithm. I know Twitter is supposed to be, I mean, it's better, obviously, the Twitter files, but there is still some issues with it being an unfair algorithm where voices are not, it's not fair to, freedom of speech is not freedom of reach. And so looking to make things a little bit more organic with the algorithm, as opposed to run by advertising dollars or by whatever political side runs the platform. So it's not, you know, two-party system wrapped up in a platform where, you know, Twitter was before was really suppressing conservative voices and Trump and all of that. They were doing it. It was proven. And now it's sort of gone, Elon's not been necessarily fair to Substack writers. And so it's just, anyway, it just needs to be a system that's not based on so much off of outside money influence being able to affect what people see and whose voices are heard. Like everyone's voice should have the same option to be heard, and then if it doesn't, if nobody is interested in that particular information, then it just won't go far. And then those that just organic reach. I think it's pretty simple in those terms, that our voices deserve to be heard and not suppressed about everything. Because the funny thing is all of the things that I got suppressed for, I don't know if any of you got in trouble on any of these social media platforms, but every single one of the things that I got, taken down, or this is misinformation or whatever it was, has turned out to be correct now. Like every single one. None of it was misinformation.
So you haven't been taken down lately under X?
I have not. I just don't get the reach. I still feel like I've got a shadow ban even though I don't show one. I don't get a lot of traction there with my tweets. But
yeah, because I'm really surprised. I've been harboring a lot of anger, and I'm letting it out on X, and they haven't nailed me at all yet. Tomorrow's another day, though, right?
Yeah, I guess, or and I don't know if this is him specifically or if it's the algorithm. They took down some progressive voices, and again, you don't have to like what people say. They still have a right to say it. There's a lot of people that I can't stand that I still think that they should be able to say what they want just as loud as they want. And so, again, I think that it's like one side gets the ability to do that, to squash out the other side, and then they squash out the other side, and then that feels good, and then it happens to them, and then it's like this never-ending cycle that we just need to be okay with listening to other people's things that they say that we don't like.
I guess it's not that makes me angry, because I'm one of those people that can totally, I'm an independent, listen to everybody. I've got views from all sides. I guess it's more just the people who are doing this targeting program to us and who it's falling back on, and that's where the anger's coming from. So that's why I was really shocked, because I said something the other day and I was like, wow, why did you say that? You're going to be off tomorrow. Well, no big deal. But I wasn't, so it was like, why is this? So maybe we're so conditioned to the old Twitter where they took us off that we're kind of scratching our head on this. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that they had to go before Congress. I don't know, But, yeah, I definitely listen to all sides. I'm an open mind with that.
Yeah, I think they've been doing a better job in the sense that they definitely don't take people down for what they did. It's just now it's become the whole anti-Semitic thing. They just want to make everything anti-Semitic, and I think that's really not helpful to true anti-Semitic stuff. You can't make everything anti-Semitic, and then just people can't say anything. It's just this whole censorship thing. But it's definitely better on X. I know what you're talking about because I cuss and I say things that would have gotten me in trouble on, for sure, Zuckerberg products. And I don't get, at least so far, I haven't gotten in trouble on X, which is nice because I know what you're talking about. It's like you get gun shy with should I post this? Should I post?
Yeah, well, sometimes you look deep inside at who you are as a person and your morals, and you're like, 4 years ago I would never have said this, so it's kind of like, wow. But 4 years ago, well, no, maybe not 4 years ago, but 8 years ago, you might have, you could have said it and gotten away with it, or 2 decades ago, maybe I should say, not even 8 years ago. But yeah. So okay, girl, I'm gonna copy out of here before I start coughing.
Well, I hope you feel better soon. I know there's something going around that's really bad.
I actually caught it in L.A. I re-caught it in L.A. when I went out there for my mom. It went to my lungs from my sinuses. You guys, there's something out in California that's pretty busy with the lungs. So anyway, yeah. You have a great one, sis, and I'm going to sit here and listen.
Thank you. And feel better soon. Does anyone have any suggestions on any political action that frustrations, whatever?
Got a quiet group today.
Yeah, I think the beginning of the year, I've had a couple group things. This is just too early yet. I don't think everybody's ready yet after the holidays.
It's your life. You got to
And it's
handle
cold in California. If you were just here, it was freezing.
Oh, you thought so? I was running around with my shorts on. You should see it here now. Yeah, it's cold here. It's like, I think in the 20s or 30s. You guys are in the 50s, right?
Yeah, if it gets below 50, everyone freaks out like it's freezing. I think it got down to 35 down in San Diego. But yeah, it was cold. And then there was like some kind of celebrity show that it was all over TikTok. The Golden Globes, and they were like, everybody looks like they're crying. And like it was so cold here and windy, and I'm like, oh no, nobody's crying. It's windy, and it was loud winds too. So yeah, it's just, I mean, who complains about California winter? I grew up in really cold place, so it's funny, it's laughable, but yeah, it was a little cold for those of us that have been here for a while.
Hey,
At least Southern California.
Did you ever check out that gentleman I referred you to?
I have not yet. Anything that was going on this afternoon, I put together this call, but yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay.
I did get that.
I'm actually gonna go away for a few minutes and see if I can get him on this call.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
All right, see you in a few.
And just another minute of open mic before I shut off the recorded portion of this, and then if anyone, feel free to keep the open mic. I'm just not going to record for more than an hour. So if anyone has anything to add on the recorded piece of this, otherwise, thank you everyone for joining me. And this is Shiloh Taylor bringing you political action information for the people. It's January 11th of 2024, and this is ending our first call for the year.